Three-minute rounds in the bantamweight division, brought to you by Rose Remodeling. We now introduce first the Punch Edibles blue corner, standing 5'5", weighing in at 134 3/4 pounds. Coming off a second-round stoppage victory, his record stands at 2 wins, 3 losses. Backed by Team Alpha Male from Bowling Green, Kentucky, he fights out of Sacramento, California, Jacob Rocket Pedigo. Now introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the Punch Edibles red corner. At 5'7", stepping in at 134 1/2 pounds, this undefeated amateur holds a record of 3-0, with 2 of his 3 wins ending in the first round. Training at Ant Dogs MMA and fighting out of Gilroy, California, Ethan Robledo. Your referee, Chad Shepard.
Well, Corey, this is only the 3rd fight of the night, and I already think it's safe to say we couldn't have any more interesting finish than we have in the first 2 fights, as this one has blockbuster written all over it between Robledo and Pedigo.
Fighters, ready?
Yes, certainly. I'm not sure many of our fights here tonight are going to go to distance, especially in these prelims. You know, we have some very exciting matches done by the matchmaking team over at A1.
Pedigo certainly controlling center here in the opening moments.
Yeah.
3 3-minute rounds here.
Pedigo immediately coming out, pushing Robledo back, heavy blows, but Robledo answering with some of his own.
It was a beautiful switching of the stance and then going in with the jab and the 1-2.
Yeah, both of these guys extremely quick in there. You know, we have these bantamweights, but very, very fast on both sides. Takedown attempt potentially from Robledo, stuffed by Pedigo with the underhook, landing a beautiful knee to the body and mitigating that attack of Robledo.
A couple of powerful strikers here, now up against the cage. Robledo told us this morning, he said, I like to be the aggressor in my fights. I want to force my will on my opponents. And we've definitely seen it, but Jacob Pedigo is very disciplined. And now, beautiful exchange there. Oh, a head kick by Pedigo, but a follow-up jab by Robledo.
Yeah, that karate style of Pedigo is starting to come out a little bit here now. Definitely a lot of aggression on both of these sides. One of those shots lands, it could be lights out for either of these guys here.
Question. Oh, single leg by Robledo. Great job by Pedigo to thwart. Halfway through the first round, and down goes Pedigo.
Takedown secured by Robledo, and we're at halfway point for this round, so you got to think that this has got to really turn, you know, the tides with the judges here, and potentially a lot of time to work for Robledo.
This first round has certainly not disappointed. Oh, Pedigo able to get the back rather easily there. 1 hook in.
Yeah.
Oh, just like that. Pedigo could be in trouble here. Great job to evade.
Yeah, Robledo doing a great job immediately hunting that net, threatening the choke on Pedigo. Able to get under the chin, but Pedigo staying calm and collected, able to fight the hands. 45 seconds left to work here, and Robledo definitely in a much stronger position as we look to close out this round. Landing blows, looking to open up the choke with his hands. Very smart from Robledo.
He's being absolutely relentless here as Pedigo desperately trying to keep that neck from being attacked. Uh-oh. Now he's got both hooks in. Can Pedigo survive the final 20 seconds?
Body triangle from Robledo, and this is really difficult from Pedigo because he is now away from the cage, so he's not able to use that cage, you know, as an extra tool to scrape Robledo off of his back or look to work up to his feet. He's now out in the open. He's got to defend these punches, defend the chokes, he's got to attack the legs, and this is just a really suffocating position for Pedigo to be stuck in as we see out this round.
Certainly is, but great job by Pedigo to survive that first round. But that was as exciting as we could have anticipated between these 2 very promising fighters. But Robledo, we saw a little bit of his entire arsenal there. The head kicks leading into the combinations, and then, of course, the grappling in the final 90 seconds.
Yeah, certainly, and that's definitely a smart game plan from the Robledo side. You know, he's having success with his striking, but both of these guys, as we mentioned, have great finishing capabilities on the feet. They're landing some heavy blows on either side. So for Robledo, he was able to implement that grappling and really just kind of put his stamp on, hey, I'm good wherever this fight goes. You know, and that was a beautiful shot from Robledo. Pedigo did stuff a couple of his takedown attempts, but he's gonna have to completely mitigate that going into this second round or have a better answer off of this back.
There we see the beautiful head kick by Pedigo, but the second half of the first round was really all Robledo on the back of Pedigo. As we're just about ready for the second round.
And since we have questions coming up in the comment section of YouTube, we did explain this in the first fight, I apologize. These are 3-3-minute rounds because both of these guys have more than 3 fights experience, just like our last fight was also 3-minute rounds. The first was 2 due to the lack of experience of both of the guys. So due to the Camos rule sets, the California Commission rule sets, that's how it works. First 3 fights, shin pads and 2-minute rounds, and then you get to increase.
We hear Pedigo's corner telling Pedigo to end with the jab after moving in. Body kick, and Pedigo charges in.
Beautiful forearm block from Pedigo as Robledo tries to get back to that double leg. But Robledo's staying active even when he fails on those takedowns. You know, he's following up with his hands, he's following up with his kicks, he's putting those combinations together. I'm really impressed with both of these guys. That you say very young in their years, but beautiful display of experience here. Single leg attempt from Robledo, able to get the back of Pedigo. Beautiful transitioning, and that's that chain wrestling there that you don't see often at this lower level of amateur MMA.
And then the power in the base of Robledo just to bull rush Pedigo, getting him back down, and now just such a smooth transition. Like you said, the single leg wasn't completely there, just went to the back, made Pedigo respond, and then charged in once again. And now more of the same with Robledo taking the back of Pedigo.
Yes, certainly, and phenomenal composure from Robledo too. He's taking the time to secure his position before he starts to attack. You know, we talked about how young and hungry and how much energy these guys are coming in here with, but he's really taking the time where it counts, as you see him sinking back here, taking the time to get his second hook in and control his position, back in on that body triangle. And yeah, this is phenomenal grappling from Robledo.
And he's away from the cage.
And he has a minute and a half to work here, Johnny, as opposed to the last minute of the last round.
Pedigo did a great job of defending the rear naked in the first round, but fatigue has to be setting in, and Robledo does not tire out.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very tiring position from Pedigo. That body triangle is brutal. You know, it's going to be restricting the airways. He's away from the cage, so he's not able to use that, as we mentioned, to defend this back position and work up. So he's doing a great job of scooting back to the cage. He's got his guard back underneath him, so he's able to start creating some space to scramble. But Robledo's composure in here is very impressive.
Hard to believe, only 20 years old.
And I will say, it's really nice to see him implementing that ground and pound. He's not necessarily landing heavy finishing blows, but he's doing just enough to keep Pedigo thinking, and it's allowing him to advance his position or potentially sneak in his submissions and other shots. So he's doing a great job of staying active and almost like smothering Pedigo on bottom.
To Pedigo's credit, he's got incredible conditioning as he's able to withstand yet another just smothering grappling arsenal by Robledo as we're about to close out the second round. Just another brilliant ground display by Robledo.
Pedigo definitely able, you know, more able at the end of this round compared to the last 2 advance his position, but you got to think he's down too. You know, he was able to get back to his guard, wasn't really able to mount any on offense, and that was over a minute and a half of him just being smothered under Robledo's pressure and ground control. So you got to think that his corner's lighting a fire up under him as we go into this third round here.
If you are Jacob Pedigo, as we see Hector Fajardo cornering him there and giving him some advice, I mean, you kind of have to go for broke here in the third round a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he did a great job of stuffing that first takedown attempt of Robledo, but you know, Robledo, as we mentioned, he did a beautiful job of chain wrestling, and Pedigo was not ready for that second and third attack. So he just has to be aware that Robledo isn't just shooting and then giving up when he misses it. You know, he's chaining that wrestling together, and he's in his corner smiling, laughing, joking with Anthony Figueroa. So definitely coming into this third round fresh, as opposed to the body language of Jacob Pedigo. But yeah, Pedigo needs to just stay aware that Robledo is relentless, and he is able to chain those takedowns together, so stuffing the first doesn't necessarily mean you're safe, and that is where he's getting caught.
And what we see there, that's the personality of Ethan Robledo. He truly has the best time being in the cage. He loves everything about mixed martial arts. Just having a conversation with him today, that's the vibe that you get, and we're seeing that. He's so fluid. He's so incredibly smooth. Third and final round here. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. A1 Combat 29 Prelims going live on Fight Pass at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Pedigo definitely taking a slightly different approach this round. Still aggressive with his strikes, but kind of looking like he's trying to keep the distance from Robledo. Potentially the advice of cornermen Josiah McHale and Hector Fajardo. Big kick and a slip. Very unfortunate. We're talking about him needing to avoid the takedowns of Robledo, and unfortunate slip takes himself down.
The kick landed, didn't have enough of an effect, and Robledo is just lightning quick, immediately taking the back. And much like the first and second round, similar position, Robledo in control time already has the body lock.
Yeah, wasting absolute no time is Robledo straight into this body triangle position on the back. And, you know, Pedigo does a great job of defending this, but he's going to have to express some serious urgency so we don't just see the clock eaten back up like the last 2 rounds. But yeah, beautiful composure from Robledo. Hand fighting here right now, looking to land those short-range shots, potentially open up that rear naked choke.
And talk about growth. Robledo coming in 3-0, 2 of those being knockouts. But he said, look, I think my ground game is the best part of my arsenal. And we are seeing that in droves tonight, as now continuing the strikes on Pedigo as we approach the final minute of this bantamweight bout.
Yeah, it's kind of a, like I said, a very similar story to what we saw in the first 2 rounds. Robledo just with that composure and that smother and grappling style, able to completely mitigate any offense of Pedigo. You know, like I say, we just broke the minute mark, and Pedigo's doing the right thing. He's fallen to the side of the lock. He's starting to address the feet whilst also hand fighting to defend the choke. But yeah, not really seeing much advancement from Pedigo.
I mean, if you're Pedigo, it's almost difficult to even use your hips at this point because Robledo has such perfect positioning.
Yeah, 30 seconds left to go, and Robledo's starting to look to land some heavier blows here on the back. Pedigo able to get up to his knees, start kicking to clear the hooks, but looks like Robledo's looking for the finish here. He's got 15 seconds left, and I don't think he's ready to just ride that clock out.
Robledo is briefly into the full mount, once again onto the back, and he is going to finish this fight very strongly as Ethan Robledo has put on quite a display for all of us here tonight as we are going to a decision. 2 very talented young fighters. Hard to believe Ethan Robledo, only 20 years young, walking to the cage tonight undefeated, and what a performance that was as we await the scorecards from the judges. Still 4 fights to come on the prelims leading up to the main card.
Yeah, definitely, you know, bright futures ahead for both of these guys. 2 young prospects, almost sad to see them go against each other, you know. Both of them have phenomenal previous performances, and again, this was a phenomenal performance. Pedigo with some amazing striking, but unfortunately did not have an answer for the dominant grappling of Robledo here tonight.
And Pedigo came in with a really solid game plan. Look, he's a great striker, he's a very solid grappler, but Robledo was just so fluid all 3 rounds. And Pedigo, unfortunately for him, he had no answer to the jiu-jitsu, to the grappling of Ethan Robledo. As we go to check out the close of the 3rd round, and you know, Corey, it essentially ended much like the first and the second round did.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Robledo, he saw the blueprint on how to beat Pedigo, and he stuck to it. You know, he did a great job, clearly followed the game plan of his coaches. Absolutely impressed by the composure in there. You know, he could have rushed some of those positions and potentially lost them, and he just chose to take the smart route. He controlled Pedigo in all areas, and yeah, I'm absolutely amazed by his grappling pedigree.
Looks like the decision is in. Let's go to Garrett Fertig for the official announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the decision. All 3 judges, Marcel Brown, Daniel Mobley, and Giovanni Varela, see it the same. 30-27, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Ethan Robledo.
Ethan Robledo, congratulations. You remain undefeated. You came in tonight 3-0 with 2 first-round knockouts, but you told me this morning, you said, actually, my ground game is the best part of my arsenal. You put on a display, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan the whole time. I like to pressure these guys till they quit. Great fighter.
Yeah.
It was just, I was just like to push the pace, and that's what I do to everyone. And I'll keep doing it.
Now, you're only 20 years young, and you're 4-0, and you continue to grow at such a fast rate. What's next?
Fuck, I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go talk to my coach and see what's next, and I'll let you know. I'll post it.
And most importantly, I think a lot of people want to know, what do you do to grow such an impressive mustache?
It's genetics. It's all genetics. No, a little bit of oil on the beard to help that, but the mustache, you got it or you don't.
Well, what a performance tonight, remaining unblemished, moving to 4-0, Ethan Robledo.